In this video, I'll show you how to apply for unemployment insurance in the state of New York. And in this case, I'll be showing you if you are a self-employed person or independent contractors, how should you be applying for unemployment insurance. So go ahead, open up your browser. On your web address, put www.labor.ny.gov/home and then press enter. A Labor Department website should now open, and it should give you all the details of when you should be applying. The date for applying is based on the first letter of your last name. Now go to the Unemployment Insurance tab and press File a New Claim. There's a Weekly Claim Benefit tab too, but you're not supposed to do that. Since you're filing a new claim, just press File a New Claim. You will be taken to a new page with a NewYork.gov ID. If you have the username and password, please enter the username and password. Otherwise, create a new account. In the next page, you need to put your first name. So please go ahead and enter your first name. Then enter your last name as well. Then go ahead and put your email address and put the confirmed email address again. And once you're done with that, go ahead, press the capture button and press continue. Here you'll see that an email has been sent to your email address with a confirmation, and once you press the link in the email, you should be directed to this page right here. In this page, you should be typing your first name, middle name, last name, and choose a username. Go ahead, type your username and type in your password as well. And then retype your password for the confirmation. Also, you can check for the availability of your username, and if the username is available, you can go ahead and proceed with your 3 secret questions. If you press on the questions, there are a list of questions. Go ahead and choose any question of your liking. So I've chosen my first question as what is your favorite vegetable or fruit, and I've typed my answer and confirmed the answer again. Same thing with question number 2. Type your answer and confirm the answer again. And similarly, choose question number 3 from the list. Type in your answer and confirm your answer and press continue. Here you can see you're at the personal information tab. It's the second last tab before the final confirmation. Here you need to type in your date of birth, and then type in your social security number in full. And then press continue. So this is the confirmation page. So basically it will show you all the information that you have just put in your website. Review it and then press continue. Here you'll see your NewYork.gov username. Please remember that and keep it in a safe place. And once you continue, you can use that username and password to log in to NewYork.gov. So type in your password now. And press sign in. Now you've been signed in, you can see your online services forms. They have messages, online forms, there are important informations, job zone, and unemployment insurance section. So this is where you file a claim. So press unemployment services. Here you can see there's going to be asking you a social security number. So go ahead, type in your social security number in full and confirm your social security number again. And then press submit. Once you go through that page, you'll be taken into a new page where you say you have to choose a 4-digit PIN. You'll be allowed to choose a 4-digit PIN. Choose any PIN number you want. Just remember to keep it safe and in place where you need it. And then type in your mother's maiden name. And then press submit. Now you can see the new page where you can actually file a claim. So press file a claim, and on the next page you can see if you can apply for unemployment insurance, what are all the informations and so forth. Press continue, and in the next page you can see the terms and conditions that you have to submit your claim. You have an option to keep a direct deposit, you have to keep your PIN secure, and all those information. Once again, it has to be accurate. You have to be looking for a work, make a work search plan, avoid trying to be in fraud, so forth. Now go ahead, press I agree, and then the questionnaire begins. As you can see, there's from 1 to 10 questionnaires. The first question is this week beginning Monday. In my case, it's going to be April 6th. How many days have you worked? So go ahead and answer that. In my case, it'll be 0. And it's going to ask you if you made more than $504 that week, which is obviously no for me. It'll also ask you what was the last date you worked. So go ahead and press put the number on the tab, and after that it'll be asking like did you choose, are you filing this claim just because of the coronavirus situation going on. If the situation is yes, press yes, otherwise press no. In my case, it is because of the COVID-19, so I'm going to press yes. So did you work in New York State last 18 months? Yes for me. Did you live in New York State? Yes for me again. And it's going to ask you were you discharged from military within the last 18 months? That was no for me. And the final question is going to be, what was your last employment? Was it like a federal civilian employee whose last duty station was outside of the United States? That's no for me. So go ahead and press continue. On the next page, you'll see your first name, your last name, and you'll be asked to enter if you have used any other names in the last 18 months. Your date of birth will be there, and now you have to put your driving license number. So go ahead, put your driving license number or learner's permit. Then it'll ask you for how many employers have you worked in the last 18 months. So if you're a self-employed person, the answer is going to be 1. You have to choose 1 employer. All right, and I'll let you know what to put in the next section of the last employer. So press continue. On the next section, you'll be asked, did you lose all of your employment in the last 18 months due to lack of work? Press yes. Obviously, you didn't make any money, so you don't even have to press that because you just lost all your employment in the last 18 months. Go to the question number 2. In the past 18 months, were you an employee of educational institutions? No for me. If you're yes, then put it accordingly. Are you filing? Or were you filing in the last 18 months as an officer of corporations in which you have been making a financial interest or involving in decision making? That was no for me. And on the question number 4, during the past 18 months, did you work or perform services for a business that's been fully or partly owned by a relative? And that's definitely no for me again. But just choose wisely. Read the questions carefully and press yes or no according to the situation that applies in your case. Okay. The other than part-time work, on-call work, like any single-family rental unit or any other source of income, basically no for me and no for again. So go to the next page. It'll say like you must prepare to start the employment immediately. You should be physically, mentally capable of doing that. You have to do that if you want to receive unemployment insurance. So press yes. And the other question is, will you be receiving periodic severances or dismissal payments after April 6th? If you do, then press yes. In my case, it's no, especially if you're working for Uber or any other self-employed company, then they're definitely not receiving anything from those companies. So press no. There you go again. Do you receive any lump sum severances or dismissal payments? That's no again. Will you be receiving any vacational pay? No again for me. Holiday pay after the period of April 2nd? No for me again. Are you receiving or have you applied for an employer or union pension employment for me? Like with the self-employed case, I think that would be no for most of the people, but still choose carefully. So are you receiving a worker compensation? No. Will you be are you receiving or have you applied for any New York State disability things for? That's no again. And do you obtain your employment through union hiring hall? That is no again for me. So press continue. The next page will show you your recent employer. As you have put it in your social security number, it will pull out the information there. If you are working for one of the employer listed in this page, then press select that. Otherwise, you can press employer not listed. So the employer is not listed in here, the most recent one. So we're going to press continue with selection of employer not listed. And the next page here, this is the important part. This is going to ask you for a federal employer identification number. If you are a self-employed person, you don't need to put any number here. You can leave it blank. But for some people, you might need to put your federal employer identification number. With the Uber and self-employed, just leave it blank. Here you'll be asked your last employer's name. Just put self-employed, and the address and street section you will be putting your own address in the box below. So go ahead, put your address. Put the city in there. Put your state, your zip code. Then in your employer's telephone number, please put your own telephone number. You will need to put your own telephone number once again. And on the next question, it's going to be asking you what was your first day with the current employer or with this employer. So basically, if you're self-employed, it's asking you what was the first day you started with the self-employment. So for the yellow cab drivers or even the Uber drivers, please put the date that you first started driving for a yellow cab or driving for Uber. So please go ahead and choose the date. And in the next section below, you can see the reasoning. You're no longer working with this current employer. Is it because of the lack of work? Is it because you quit, or you were discharged, let go, fired, or is that there has been a strike or lockout? In our case, it's going to be lack of work. And if you have a definite date to return with the work, please enter that. We don't know the situation of the coronavirus, so we're going to let it blank. What was your job title? You need to put in this case, it's going to be a taxi driver. Choose your occupation group from the following list. We still have to choose the occupational group besides the job title, and it's going to be transportation and material movement for this case. What was your job location or the job site? It's going to be New York City, and press continue. In the next section, it's going to go further in detail, and it's going to outline you whether you were a taxi driver or a chauffeur. So that's the exact definition of what we are doing. So press OK. And here you can see in the next page it's asking you to put your personal information once again, and it's asking you, is the mailing address a PO box? That's not the case for us, so we'll press no to that. But still, you need to put your complete address in there. So go ahead, put your complete address. So this particular case, I've chosen to fill out a form and file for a claim, trying to become a taxi driver, just to show you how to work if you're a taxi driver. But that's going to be the same case with the Uber driver. Uber drivers still, they are same with the chauffeur category. They'll fall into the chauffeur category, or limousine drivers. So that's going to be the same for you. So please go ahead and follow the rest of the questionnaires, and it's going to be asking you for your gender. Put your gender in. It's going to ask you for the highest grade you completed in school. That's going to be anything depending on your qualifications, so put it accordingly. Are you a veteran? In this case, it's going to be no. Are you a US citizen? And in this case, it's still going to be no. So if you're no, then you need to put your alien number. If you're a US citizen, you don't need to put anything in there. So for in this case, we will be putting in alien number for my friend. Then the next question is going to be asking you, do you want 10% of your weekly unemployment insurance benefit withheld for federal taxes? I would choose yes. You don't have to deal with the taxes later on. Same with the state taxes. I would say yes. Do you want to make a register or change the voter registration? Press no for that, and just do not send me the information or a claimant handbook. Just press no for that. Choose your ethnicity. There you go. And the mode of communication will be English. Press next. Here you'll be taken into a benefit payment site, whether you want to have your payment directly deposited in your bank account, or you want a debit card. I would rather choose a direct deposit for my friend, because it's faster. You don't need to wait for your debit card to be coming through the mail, but it's up to you. If you want, you can choose your debit card. If you want, you can choose your direct deposit. In this case, we have chosen a direct deposit. Here you're going to be putting your mother's maiden name once again, and then it'll ask you for a 9-digit banking routing number. So go ahead, look up your routing number for your bank and put the routing number accordingly, and then confirm the banking routing number again, and then please put your checking account number. Be careful while you're doing this. You might want to put the right checking account number, otherwise you will not be receiving the payment. So please be careful while putting in your checking account number. Take your time, make sure the information you put is correct in this section right here, and then press continue. Now in the next page, it'll show you your bank routing number and checking your number, as I have censored that one right there. And you might want to, you can verify your payment, but here I'm authorizing my New York State to go ahead and deposit the money on that account number. Here you can see the review section. You can review certain pages, certain tabs that you want to. If you feel like you have made a mistake, you can go to certain tabs and go and make the changes. In our case, it's all fine. So acknowledgement, check the button and submit claim. Once you have submitted a claim, you'll be shown a confirmation page. Here it says your application for unemployment insurance benefit is now complete. Your confirmation number is that. But keep in mind that the confirmation page might be slightly different for different people. It depends on what kind of work you do, what kind of information did you put in there. If the New York State is not happy with your input, if they want to know more information about you, they might ask you, they might give you a certain different confirmation page. I'd be wise to save the confirmation page just in case you might need it for later. So go ahead and save the confirmation page, or you can make a print. So this is a different kind of confirmation you might get depending on your line of work. If you get this kind of confirmation, it says you need to make a call to a claim center to complete your claim. If this is the case, then you need to call the telephone number given there below, and you need to talk to the claims specialist in order to complete your claim. Thank you. If you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Please leave a message in the comment section. I'll be very willing and be happy to reply on your comment. Thank you once again. Have a good day.